Tea for me and treats for you, buddy. There you go. Make yourself comfy.
All you have is what you are.
Ooh, it is bitterly cold out there tonight. You know, the kind of cold where even with gloves on, you end up pressing your hands deep into the padded pockets of your coat. And after a while, you notice that your fingers have transformed into 10 painful icicles. My trick, and the only one that seems to work, is to take off my gloves and slide my hands beneath my shirt, pressing them into my armpits, the only place warm enough to thaw out these icy, throbbing fingers. So what a joy then to know that some Shou Puer is waiting for me at home, and not just any Shou, oh no, but a very, very special one, a very, very special one from the Mengku region. The first offering in White 2 Tea's January Tea Club drop. 50 grams of pressed Puer that looks, for all the world, you know, like a small chocolate bar, or perhaps a slab of hashish. And in a way, Puer offers a similar kind of intensity in terms of taste and how it interacts with the mouth. I've already started drinking this, forgive me. I couldn't keep my hands off her, of this sister. Over the next 3 days, I'm going to be reviewing all 3 teas in this drop. But tonight, I am starting with this one, the 2013 Shou that brews the darkest of dark velvet. Its liquor thick and rich like molasses or a kind of sepia ink. Mengku is a renowned tea-producing region in Linsong Prefecture, Yunnan province, famous for its robust, flavorful Puer teas. Sitting at a relatively high altitude, surrounded by lush, mountainous landscapes, providing ideal conditions for ancient and wild tea trees to thrive. It's particularly known for its Daiyezhong, forgive me the mutilation of these Chinese words, it's Daiyezhong, which are sort of largely varietals, highly sought after in both raw sheng and ripe Shou Puer. And that's what makes the ripe Puers from Mengku so distinctive. Those in their sort of bold, earthy flavors, very often tending to be rich, full-bodied with this earthy, woody cocoa. Oh, I love the cocoa notes, but also retaining a kind of brightness that balances out the richness. And unlike some darker, heavier Puers, Mengku Puers often also offer a pleasantly sweet, almost fruity or date-like aftertaste, again in this kind of wonderful, thick, syrupy liquor that clings to the side of the cup. Another quality of these ripes are their cooling, camphor-like sensations, particularly in these aged or carefully fermented batches like this one. We'll get to the taste, but the smell alone, totally prepossessing. It's sort of warm, inviting, like fresh laundry just out of the tumble dryer. Astonishingly clean, but also layered. And as the steam rises, you begin to also catch those deeper, darker notes. The dried fruit, the cocoa, the roasted chestnuts, the dates. Everything about this tea is hinting at the delights to come. And even before tasting it, it's going to be wonderful. You're like, oh yeah, it's all happening. And it is all happening in this tea. I mean, utterly, resplendently, sinuously, and silkily wonderful. One of the best Shou Puers I've ever tasted, though, you know, in my tea journey, I've maybe only sampled a few dozen ripes, but that first sip, it sends a kind of possessive pang through me. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm only going to get 8 sessions from this bar, if I'm lucky. You know, 2 sips in, I'm already mourning that our time together is going to be limited to 8 incredible dates and then no more. It's like that Richard Linklater film, what was it? Before sunrise, after sunrise, before sunset, one of those. The luxury, as well as the curse of a tea club like this, is that even if you fall in love with a tea, and I have, clearly, smitten, you probably can't, well, you can't. He's already told us, Paul's already told us, you can't buy any more of this. You know, once you've had it, that's it, it's gone. Because there's just enough for the members in the club to savor. And then, adieu, adieu, 2013 Shou Puer tea. And it is love at first and second and 20th sip. I mean, you know, the kind of experience you have when you sit down with someone of the human variety. And within minutes, within seconds, you know it's going to be one of the best conversations you've ever had. The sheer joy of it. So much happening in the mouth. There is that, you know, the top note brightness of the dried fruit, the cocoa, the roasted chestnuts, and then you've got that mid-palate, the earthiness, that umami richness, the mushrooms, the forest floor, touch of leather. Oh, we do like a bit of leather in our Puers, you know, kind of kinky, sexy little added frisson. And yet none of it overwhelms. You know, it all holds together. It's like it's like it's whispering to you, it's saying, take your time, no rush, slow down. We have all the time in the world. And for some reason, as I drink this, I start thinking about Isabella Rossellini, incandescently beautiful in 1995 at the age of 43 when she was dropped, bodum, by Lancôme for being too old, which caused quite an uproar at the time. You know, her beauty, her sophistication at that age, something that, let's face it, only rarely comes with experience and maturity. And this baby, this is the Isabella Rossellini of teas. This reminds me of that moment, and maybe of her for some reason. You know, this is not a fresh, green, effervescent 24-year-old spring dragonwell. It is something mature. It is something with a kind of history. A woman who's read a good deal, listened to a lot of music, pondered deeply, broken many a heart, and maybe even had her own broken a few times too. Oh yeah, Isabella.
All you have is what you have.
Isabella Shou. And it just makes you slow down. It invites you into kind of reverie as though time has dissolved into this sort of slow, exquisite drift. Utterly, gorgeously mesmerizing. One day, alas, probably only when Max is gone, because I can't leave him with anyone here, and I can't take him with me, I will visit Mengku, where some of those tea trees are over 100 years old, and certain forests have trees aged several centuries. And when you taste a tea like this, you can taste that. You can taste that depth to the flavor profile. Only made even richer after 12 years of waiting for this moment. The region's biodiversity, the rich loamy soil, the abundant rainfall, all contributing to the complex microbial environment needed for high quality fermentation in Shou Puer. Mengku producers, I am told, are known for very, very skillfully controlling the wet piling, the Wodui process, to create even ripe Puers that are, like this one, incredibly smooth, rather than muddy or over fermented. And when you drink a tea like this, you know, it kind of does compel you to reassess all the perfectly pleasant and even, you know, nice, perfectly nice, but maybe slightly unremarkable shoes that you have tasted before. Redefining in a good way, but perhaps also in a kind of slightly disillusioning way, your standards. You know, making a lot of those other teas seem a little bit, I don't know. Well, not faint and polite, because that's not Shou Puer's, but maybe a little bit coarse, a little bit rudimentary by comparison. Yeah. I really do feel like I could sit here with just 100 milliliters of this, like literally for the next hour, and just taking the tiniest of sips and letting it linger. You know that sweet, resonant aftertaste, figs, dates, molasses, cocoa, all just folding itself around you like a warm embrace, Maxi Jacks. A reminder of what true depth and complexity can be in a truly great ripe. We're all told all the time, right, that we should meditate, that it's good for us, good for our minds, good for our souls. But meditation can sometimes feel like a lonely, even slightly Sisyphean pursuit, you know, a bit of a struggle with our thoughts, with the endless whirring and churning of the mind. Which is what makes tea meditation so different. The term tea tasting, it doesn't really cover it. It doesn't cover what's going on here, you know. Tea meditation. And it's so easy. There's nothing to do other than to enjoy. No need to wrestle with your thoughts or your feelings. And after all, let us remember, Siddhartha didn't want us to struggle. He didn't want us to resist the natural rhythms of our being, of our essence, Max. According to myth, lots of camphor there, camphor chi. According to myth, after years of spiritual striving and asceticism, Siddhartha, you know, the man who would become the figure, or to some extent the figurine of the Buddha, recalled a memory from his childhood, a moment of effortless calm, sitting quietly under a rose apple tree, watching the ploughing of the fields, nowhere to go, nothing to do, just a sort of abiding sense of openness, spaciousness, free from striving, free from wanting, you know, because you've got everything you need. You got everything you need in this little 50-gram block of deliciousness. And that memory then became a sort of guiding thread, leading him away from the harsh self-denial that he had been, you know, pushing himself through, to the middle way, the path of balance, the path of ease. And that is also what tea meditation can offer us, I think, a sense of be here nowness, no desire to be anywhere else but here with Sister Tea, nothing but the simple, resounding joy of her presence, and therefore our presence with her. But it's not all meek and mild. I mean, I can feel that stirring in the belly, that sort of slight unsettling, which, let's be honest, also feels like being in love, which is lovely, but go easy. What an incredible start to Y2T's 2025 Puer drop. Utterly and splendidly satisfying. I'm not sure I can actually even manage more than what I have here, even though I want more. But that's the thing, when there's so much happening, you don't really need much to feel like you've had an unforgettable time with a freaking extraordinary tea. Thank you, Paul. Cheers.